In Profile, it's the music of Dr. John here on ITV1 in 25 minutes, after the latest in the world of computer and video games. It's Cybernet.
Hello and welcome to Cybernet with me, Steve Truitt. Gear up for a radical race, play some football on the streets, battle an evil monster, and have a party with Mario. It's phenomenal. It's Cybernet. We power into our show with the highly anticipated sequel to the world's most popular racing franchise. After 4 years in development, it's time to put the pedal to the metal and buckle up for Gran Turismo 4 speeding onto the PlayStation 2. Like previous releases in the series, there isn't an underlying story here, just a simple dream scenario for major car enthusiasts. You start as a regular driver, just trying to make a name for yourself on the speedway circuits. Naturally, your goal is to win races and earn money so you can become a hotshot in the racing community. With enough victories, you'll even get to buy your fantasy vehicle. As is to be expected, the real stars here are the marvelous motor machines. There are an astonishing 700 different vehicles from 80 different worldwide manufacturers spanning over 100 years. So if you've always wanted to pit a Volkswagen Bug against our favorite, the Corvette Stingray, you can do it all in the same game. On top of all that, the models and animation physics of all the cars have been upgraded to the highest level, ensuring the most realistic driving experience possible. Aside from the staggering variety of vehicles, Gran Turismo 4 also comes equipped with more than 50 extremely authentic-looking courses. And when you're in the mood for some competition, you can grab your mates for some two-player racing or hook up 3 PS2s for a 6-man Grand Prix land game. Want to show off your awesome auto? Pop into photo mode and take some snapshots of your ride. Or let the computer take the wheel as you become the team race manager, keeping your drivers on course in B-Spec mode.
I can barely see the road from the heat coming on.
Despite all that's wonderful about this game, there are a few minor flaws. While the controls of your vehicle are pinpoint accurate, your opponent's AI isn't all that challenging. Also, there's no online option, which means no online ranking system to compare your statistics to other racers. So aside from your friends, there's no further real-life competition. It'll be easy for race fans to look past these few faults because Gran Turismo 4 is thoroughly impressive. It's the best looking and most complete driving simulator we've seen yet. Now, if we could only speed around like this in real life without worrying about getting a ticket. Taking control of Ty, everyone's favorite Tasmanian taiga down under, comes with a lot of responsibilities. So grab a pen and write down this cheat for bush rescue on the Gamecube. At any time during gameplay, enter Start, Start, Y, Start, Start, Y, X, A, X, and A. We've just poured 100,000 opals into your account, so feel free to spend away at your local store and stock up on all the weapons you're going to need to take down all those evil outback creatures. The whole wacky gang is at it again, so invite your friends over, grab some controllers, and gather round the Gamecube, because it's time to have some fun with Mario Party 6. In Nintendo's latest installment of its ultra-popular series, Mario and company are back with another round of fun-filled games. All your favorite characters return, along with some game enhancements that are sure to keep the party rolling well into the night. The goal here is to win as many mini-games as possible. There are over 60 challenging games to conquer, ranging from simple to complex. Thankfully, there's plenty of frantic variety, ensuring you'll never be bored. From dodging lasers to rounding up herds of ghosts, each game will test your reflexes and dexterity. The main party mode can be played with up to 4 players. You can choose either 2-on-2 teams or go all out with 4-player mayhem. And with popular favorites like Boo and Wario available, you're sure to find a suitable character. You'll even have the option of single player, but at this party, the more the merrier. Providing a fresh spin, the developers have added microphone-based mini-games. With these, players answer a series of questions in a quiz show-style game. This new addition provides an interesting shift from the norm. As expected, the graphics here are stellar, and the level designs complement the lovable characters. Run, Yoshi, run! Although not a groundbreaking leap forward, this edition's strength lies in the simplicity of the action. With a large number of games, options, and thrilling multiplayer fun, Mario Party 6 creates a wild and crazy time for gamers of any skill level. Okay, get ready for Cybernet's Top 10 Xbox games chart. At number 10, take control of Japan's greatest monster and battle legendary beasts all over the world in Godzilla Save the Earth. As Bond, you fought for king and country. Now see what it's like working for the bad guys in GoldenEye Rogue Agent at number 9. At number 8, it's everyone's favorite sea-bound hero saving the day in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. If you're good with machines and are looking for 2 tons of fun, then take control of MechAssault 2 Lone Wolf at 7. Hitting the pitch at number 6, it's the world's best football players doing what they can to score in Pro Evolution Soccer 4. Master Chief is back and he's hot on the heels of the Covenant. This time, the world's at stake in Halo 2, hovering at number 5. Checking in at 4, the stakes couldn't be higher as the first 2 versions of this fighting classic are repackaged in Dead or Alive Ultimate. But when it comes to classics, no game can top the timeless adventures of Sonic Mega Collection Plus, blazing in at 3. At number 2, use the Force for good or evil in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 Sith Lords. But we just love making money and blowing stuff up, which is why Mercenaries is our Xbox number 1. Last year, EA took the hard-hitting action of NFL football out of the confinements of stadiums and set it loose in city parks and rooftops. The result was a hit with critics and fans alike. So for the inevitable sequel, the action has been intensified with loads of jaw-dropping moves in NFL Street 2, slamming onto all consoles. For those of you who played the original, you'll find that much of the game remains the same. 8-man teams, style moves, bonus points, and game breakers all return. The big addition this time around is wall jumps, which allows you to run and jump alongside walls, creating some pretty incredible plays.
My game would change dramatically if I was able to climb walls and catch passes, and you know, the NFL Street 2 is got all the options that that you it's got the matrix options where you the stuff that you want to do, you can do in the game. It's a video game, it's a sports game, but also like a fighting game, because you know, you get to hit guys late, there's no penalties, you get to fly off walls, catch passes, do all kinds of moves and get points.
With the all-new Hotspots feature, you can coordinate your special plays so they happen on these spots that are spread across the field. This is a great way to increase your style points in a hurry. Accumulating a certain amount of points unlocks Game Breaker moves and the newly added Game Breaker 2 abilities. These allow you to pull off moves that are basically unstoppable, which comes in handy in must-score situations.
NFL Street 2 is brand new from the ground up this year, so not only can you perform all those crazy wall moves with the guys running up on the walls to escape defenders or get new passing lanes, but there's a lot more depth involved as well. So now you're out there building a team, trying to own the city and take over Bay City.
Along with modes like Pickup and NFL Challenge, where you can take a team of wannabes and turn them into champions, there's now Own the City. Here, instead of training a whole team, you focus on one player, yourself. After completing the short tutorial, you and a bunch of randomly generated characters go around beating other teams in pickup games until you own the city. Additionally, the developers threw in a little incentive for gamers to complete this mode.
There's a feature on NFL Street 2 where you can take and build a character, and if you successfully complete the game, you can upload that character onto the Madden game in 2006. So, from the street to the field, how we regularly do it, right?
There we go.
The one aspect of this edition that received the most attention is the online play, especially for Xbox Live subscribers. Online games were smooth and were never lacking opponents. Overall, contrary to the hype, there isn't all that much difference in NFL Street 2 from the original, but the minor improvements definitely take this bone-crunching game in the right direction. Sure, you can jump behind the wheel of a pocket rocket and try to win some cash, but sometimes you want to travel in style. So grab a pen and write down this cheat for Need for Speed Underground 2 on the Xbox. At the Press Start menu, enter H2 Capone. That's H, the number 2, then C, A, P, O, N, and E. We've just unlocked a Hummer H2. Sure, this bad boy might be clunky and slow off the line, but just think of it this way. If anything gets in your way, you can barrel right through it. Remember, winning isn't everything. It's how you get there. That's the fun. Enjoy! Coming up, we confront a new evil, deal a winning hand, and fight on the high seas.
Saturday on Parkinson, the enchanting Goldie Hawn.
Baboon. All these baboons.
The enduring John Sargent. And the movie legend, John Travolta.
And I was thinking things like, I'm a great big movie star, great big movie star.
An Easter treat. Parkinson, Saturday at 9:35, ITV1. This Easter holiday,
we're here with two very special celebrity editions of the show.
will the eggheads crack under pressure?
They see you as the fountain of all knowledge.
Or can they scramble enough cash for their chosen charity?
Or let's go for it.
In a special celebrity edition of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Saturday 8:10, ITV1.
In the days when music on the move meant 25 songs on a C90, they were some of the biggest stars on the planet. ITV1 has put together a posse of former pop heroes. They'll all be singing live, and you'll vote to choose the comeback champion. Hit Me Baby One More Time, coming soon to ITV1.
Welcome back to part 2 of Cybernet. We cautiously creep into our second half with the return of a frightening franchise that helped define the survival horror genre. But as you'll see, Resident Evil 4 on the Gamecube has been transformed with all new thrills and chills. Although the last couple editions of Resident Evil were well made, they recycled familiar patterns, so the developers at Capcom rebuilt the game from the ground up while still maintaining the eerie atmosphere that made the series so compelling. First and foremost, they've done away with the old static view and created a new camera system that follows you from just over your right shoulder. This gives you a much better view of what's in front of you, allowing for more intuitive movements. Additionally, the pre-rendered backgrounds have been replaced with large flowing environments, creating a much more absorbing experience. These changes have allowed the producers to greatly amplify the action. In previous releases, your movements were deliberate and clumsy, but now you can leap over barriers, get into vehicles, jump out of windows, and even use kick and throw moves. Plus, during battles, you can now zoom in when aiming, making weapons much more accurate. Also new is the story and setting. Forget about Raccoon City and nasty viruses. Here you'll play as Leon Kennedy. Last seen in Resident Evil 2, this former cop is now a U.S. agent who's sent to investigate the abduction of the president's daughter in a mysterious European village.
Ashley!
Oh my God! What's going on?
Don't worry, Ashley. I'm coming for you.
As the mystery unfolds, you'll encounter a slew of terrifying enemies, which leads us to another change. There are no zombies. That's right, the slow-moving army of the undead has been replaced by a much more agile and responsive batch of human-like creatures. And if you happen to get past this motley bunch, you'll then have to battle some of the scariest monsters we've ever seen. Not everything is completely new, though. You can still only carry a limited amount of weapons and items. And while not as prominent, there are still a few tricky puzzles to solve. We were also blown away by the graphics, which were rendered with rich textures and a high polygon count. Plus, it all runs at a smooth 30 frames per second and features some very cool ambient sound effects. Resident Evil 4 is an excellent effort that has absolutely reinvigorated the series. Being a high-paid gun for hire definitely has its advantages, least of which is getting to blow things up. But we here at Cybernet would like to point out one advantage you may have overlooked in Mercenaries on the PS2. Navigate your way to the PDA Factions mode. Once there, enter left, left, right, right, up, up, down, and down. We've just unlocked Indiana Jones. This famous archaeologist may not be known for his expertise as a hired assassin, but trust us when we say he can inflict his fair share of damage. It's now time to deal the cards, but we're not talking about a game of poker. This card game is all about massive monsters and powerful spells, as you're about to find out in the video game conversion of Duel Masters on the PlayStation 2.
Do we get to duel?
Yes, but first I must see if you are ready.
For those unfamiliar with Duel Masters, the rules to this collectible card trading game will seem completely mystifying. Basically, though, it pits one competitor against another to see who has the strongest deck. Players can possess 40 cards at a time, but can only battle with 5, so it's important you select the right cards for the right situation. And since each card represents a different monster or spell, it's vital you familiarize yourself with their specific powers. Another key element is the use of something called mana, which allows you to summon creatures and cast spells. And the only way to get mana is to sacrifice one of your monsters. Luckily, you get to add one card for each turn, so your supply of monsters will always be replenished. There are 5 main duelers in the story mode and 5 combat arenas. As for the actual gameplay, unlike Yu-Gi-Oh!, which has a heavy chessboard strategy element, this is a pure card battle game, so there's no battlefield to navigate. It's a straight-up card duel, where the quality of your deck and the luck of the draw will usually determine the outcome. Overall, this is a terrific conversion of the card game. The effective controls make navigating the screens and issuing commands a smooth experience. Graphically, it's somewhat of a mixed bag. The backgrounds and character models are bland and lack detail. However, the characters are nicely presented in a familiar cel-shaded anime style, and the monsters are also visually impressive. Older gamers will likely find Duel Masters both repetitive and far too easy, but for fans of this card battling game, this is a dream come true. Our Game of the Week is the sequel to one of the greatest PC titles of all time. Half-Life introduced gamers to memorable characters and a spectacular cinematic presentation. Now, after 6 years in development, the highly anticipated follow-up is finally here. This first-person shooter begins several years after the original, where you once again assume the role of scientist hero Gordon Freeman. After arriving at City 17, one of the few remaining cities on Earth, you discover that it's under the oppressive control of the mysterious Combine. So it's time to suit up and free humanity.
Follow me, brother, and tread lightly, for this is hallowed ground.
The controls are slick and responsive, allowing you to smoothly navigate through the enormous levels that are located on both land and sea. And thanks to your environmental suit, you can even swim underwater. But hang on tight, because the coolest feature here is that you can now drive several vehicles. A major highlight here is the use of physics. In fact, the story and the ingenious puzzles depend on how skillfully you can manipulate objects. Everything has weight and can be controlled, so the realistic environments become a playground of interactivity. You even have the ability to pick up and throw things with your gravity gun. Now, that's playing with power. Half-Life 2's presentation is extraordinary, and the level of detail is stunning, enabling you to easily immerse yourself into this remarkable virtual world. Awesome combat and challenging enemy AI combined with fantastic level designs help make Half-Life 2 our Game of the Week. Namco's ever-popular Tekken series has branched out into a single-player adventure, so get ready to slash, kick, and crush your way through death by degrees for the PlayStation 2. Here you play as Nina Williams, a hard-hitting, swift-kicking blonde originally introduced in the Tekken series. As a CIA operative, your goal is to infiltrate and destroy a secret organization which has seized control of a cruise ship. Once on board, your job is to investigate as well as battle every enemy on board. Your primary method of combat is based on analog stick control. This technique allows you to face multiple foes at once. Just push in the direction of an approaching bad guy and you'll attack. You can also equip yourself with firearms and swords, but neither is as effective as simply kicking your enemy until he's down for the count. The most interesting fighting technique is the critical strike. This high-damage attack provides an X-ray of your opponent. Glowing red areas indicate where to attack. If executed correctly, your results are presented in a bone-crushing sequence, causing major trauma. When you're not engaged in combat, you'll spend your time on stealth missions, exploring every inch of the ship. By collecting fingerprints with a print scanner, you gain access to top-secret levels. Sadly, sluggish loading time reduces the pace to a crawl, making potentially suspenseful events seem boring. Although ambitious, none of the game's sections are well executed. As an offshoot from the great Tekken series, we expected a bit more. Ultimately, Death by Degrees is a half-hearted attempt to unite puzzle solving, stealth, and combo fighting styles. Better luck next time. Well, the lovely Nina may be down for the count, but Team Cybernet promises to return with more fantastic game reviews. Don't forget to keep in touch via email. So until next time, here's more gladiator action from Shadow of Rome, compliments of Cybernet.
Some more handy cooking hints and tips from Get Stuffed in 25 minutes. First on ITV1, funk, rock and roll, jazz, you name it.